when you think about how you potentially use cyber offensively to preclude an adversary's ability to conduct cyber against you, let's take Salt Typhoon, for example. To me, you got two broad options. Number one, you can try to go after the commercial infrastructure that the adversary is using. So in this case, the Chinese, the Russians, rather than attack directly from infrastructure in the PRC to attempt to obfuscate themselves, they will use commercial infrastructure. And the previous administration announced they were going after that infrastructure. But my view always was, look, the adversary can always go get different commercial infrastructure.
Exactly.
That's not really going to stop them. My view was, in specific targeted instances, on a very defined conditions, and it's a major policy decision. It's not something you just would automatically delegate.
You don't just push a button
to my
either,
old
right?
life, to the cyber command commander to say, hey, execute this whenever we see it. I believe that what we ought to authorize is not just going after infrastructure, but directly going after capability within those nations that are generating these effects against us, that we should be able to go after specific targets, whether it be those actors that are executing this kind of activity, Second PLA, Ministry of State Security, the GRU, the FSB in Russia. Do you also consider potentially, well, why don't we consider putting at risk the same infrastructure in their nations that they are penetrating in ours? Now, again, it's a specific policy discussion. Cyber is only one dimension of the potential range of options that you consider. I'm the first to acknowledge that. But my sense is...
Don't take them off the table.
Right. My sense is, number one, don't take it off the table. Number two, another argument I always used to make is, you just don't do these overnight. We need to prepare. We need to understand the battlefield. We need to do reconnaissance, which again goes to your previous comment about one of the ideas that we were always pushing at Cyber Command was this persistent engagement and engagement forward. We said, hey, let's understand the terrain forward outside the United States and its networks, and let's also understand the adversary's activities in some of those terrains outside, because we could also learn about, well, if they're doing this in Ukraine, if they're doing this in Europe, we're likely to see the same kinds of techniques, the same kinds of methodology used against the U.S. And our view is, if we got smarter about the adversary, it would increase the probability of successful defense for us.